Hello, welcome to Paleo Greenbird. I am Greenbird. I hope you're doing awesome. If you're not, shut this video off, go climb a tree, come back when you're feeling better. Today is going to be part 6, I think, of the Dacite tool challenge, and we still have our big spall of Dacite that we've been taking our flakes out of to make the points and stuff. And I think now we're getting to a point where it's pretty critical to address this big bulb that's right here, this high spot right here. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. Try and take a flake off there. This is really cool. I found this in my driveway. It's kind of softer than what you would probably normally want a hammerstone to be, but just fits so good in my hand that I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's try it out. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take this edge down a little bit. So by hitting it downward like that, what I did was I popped off a flake, and you can see how that gave me a nice platform right there. Go all the way in and down. Hopefully that might be enough to pop off at least a good portion of that big bulby area. I don't know how this makeshift hammerstone thing is going to work, but I'm going to use it anyway. Grinding off the edges, especially since I'm not going to be using copper, and I'm using an experimental hammerstone. I've never used it before. This will be the first flake ever taken from this hammerstone. And using a hammerstone is a little bit different. I find that, well, I mean, I have limited experiences using hammerstones, but I find that the flake, when you hit the platform, you hit it a little bit higher, or at least I do, than copper. Is that even in the camera? Let me move the camera a little bit. So, I've got my platform right there. Now let's hit it and see what we can get. Alright, so we got a little flake. Didn't drive nearly as far as I wanted it to. Put that flake back on. So this is what the stone looks like. I was hoping to flatten that out a little bit. Instead, this is the flake that I got. That's alright. Chunky piece. Make something out of this. Just gonna grind off all. Whew, look at all that powder coming up. You don't want to be breathing that. This is why we nap outside. The chickadees in the background. Seem to have a lot of those here. So just trying to thin this down a little bit, get a sharp edge in that one spot. Might be a little too small for a knife. I think we're gonna have to turn this into a point. This is gonna be an arrowhead. some on it. So I'm just trying to grind off the general shape of this arrow point. We could still make it a little itty bitty skinner if we wanted to, but I think we're gonna wait. We'll take another flake for that. I'm gonna turn this into an arrowhead. Just try to take some flakes that will shape this a little bit. Again, you know, this isn't probably going to end up being, oh wow, you can't even see half of what I'm doing, can you? Sorry. See, that's a little better. So this is what we have so far out of that flake. Just need to square it up a little bit, make it a little bit more consistently shaped. I'm not really too worried about symmetry at this point, just a basic shape. Base off. That's good. And that general arrowhead shape, it goes off in that direction, so that's not a big deal. So all I need to do is just nibble away at that. Work on bringing the base in line. Sometimes it's hard for me to get the edges into symmetry. Oh, I just blew that thing apart. Darn it. Too aggressive. See how I blew that side off? Bummer. That was going to be a nice point too. It'll still be a nice point. It'll just be different looking. All right. These flakes are a little bit trickier to work. Some of the bifacial thicker pieces, even though you reduce those bifaced pieces down to the same, thinness, I guess, for lack of a better term, it's just a different game working these flakes. It's really cool. Having a good time. Other than the fact that I'm snapping them left and right. I think I've broken just about every flake point in this series, haven't I? I've gotten a point every time, so that's really all that matters. And eventually we'll start hafting some of these. So I'm going to take that broken edge. It's got like that really, 45 degree, that flat edge. I'm going to start working that because I don't want to notch right into that. And it just doesn't look good. Might cause me some problems down the road, so I'm just going to zigzag that just to get that off. That's where that other ear blew off. Was wasn't even really an ear, it was just the side of the point. As you can see, this edge is much deeper than this edge, so I can either bring this edge in, which I have found just results in really skinny stems, or I can bring this leading edge in. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the edge that flares out the most, this edge here, and I'm going to bring it in to meet the other side. I'm going to start low, closer to the base. And once I get that low side closer to the base, kind of symmetrical, I can bring the rest in shape without worrying about losing that shape too much. Getting rid of all the loose debris, everything that just kind of, it's there, but it's not really a part of the piece. It doesn't have any integrity to it. All right, it's kind of ugly looking, but we're getting pretty close. Remember, this point is to feed me, not to impress. And trust me when I say it probably will not impress. So here's where we're at. Myself a nice little point. It's thick. It's definitely thick. But it could be hafted as it is. I'm going to try and just clean it up a little bit. Oh, this is a very primitive point, like I said. Out of a flake. Looking to make something to hunt with, this is what you have. You settle for what you have. Right? There we go. Let's grind this off. And I think we have tool number 6. I'm grinding the edges, so it would need to be sharpened. Probably probably before use. And just a little bit. Alright, so out of this flake, this is the next arrow point that we got. It's just a little itty bitty bird point. It's really on the thick side. So, a little thicker than what I would want. Actually, it's a lot thicker than what I would want. But this is still a good usable arrow point. This will still be good for hunting, even though it's thick. Pretty ugly, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Have an awesome day. Paleo Greenbird signing out.